If you are working with time-based media and want to achieve the highest level of WCAG compliance, then Able Player can help you achieve that. Here are a few features that you can incorporate. 1. A high-level video with clear audio, synchronized closed caption so that users can follow along visually if they don't have access to the audio. Maybe they're in a noisy room. You also have a full transcript for those who prefer to just read the transcript without watching the video. Maybe they want to save on data. Able Player also goes further to allow you to add multiple subtitles. So not just the caption in the language you just created. You can add audio descriptions and so many other things. It is open source. I will leave a link in the description to the GitHub repository for both the media player for WordPress and the open source video player. So you can go ahead and report any bugs you are finding, any ways that they can improve, and so on. I recently started incorporating the media player on my own website. So let's look at one example. The example is populate BricsForge select field with jet engine glossary data. So in there we have the media player. It is showing the poster for the video. We also have the controls. We have the play, the restart. We have the rewind, the forward button. On the right side, we can choose to either show or hide captions. We can show the chapters. The chapters are kind of like the timestamps you see on YouTube, where you can skip through different sections. If I click on the chapters icon, which is like a bookmark icon, it opens up all of the chapters and it tells you the time where it actually starts. Then we have options to reduce the speed or increase the speed. I know a few friends of mine who like to watch videos at a slower speed, 0.75x. I prefer to watch videos at a faster speed, so about 1.75x speed. So that's just me. Then you have other options for changing the settings of how the captions show. So they allow the user to have their own preference. So preference for captions, for descriptions, for the keyboard, and for the transcript. Underneath, I have the transcript showing, and that transcript incorporates both the chapters and the closed captions. So we have the chapters which are breaking up the closed captions and making it into a well-structured and readable document. So we have the introduction. You can go ahead and read it. In case you don't want to watch the video or play the audio, maybe you're trying to save on data, then you can choose not to watch the video at all and just simply read the content. And the transcript is also synced to the video. So let me go ahead and just turn off the audio first, so it doesn't mess with the current video. Then when I play it, you notice that we can see the caption and the transcript underneath is also synchronized to the video. So I can easily skip to any part. So let's say I want to skip to the next chapter, and it just skips to the next chapter. I can skip to any part of the transcript. It has skipped to that part, and I can see it on the video that everything is synchronized together, both the video, the captions, and the transcript. You can see other examples. I took this from the WP Accessibility Day website. I just added some modifications. We have the same thing. So we have the video with the big play button. We have the controls. And then we have the captions. For their own version, they added multiple subtitles in different languages. So not only the English caption, they also added other subtitles like Espanol, which is Spanish. They have French, Hebrew, Hindi, Italian, or you can turn off captions completely. It's also synchronized to the transcript. You can change the language of the transcript. So for example, you want it to be in Espanol. I didn't add the chapters in the other languages. I only added the chapter in English language. So the chapters will not change when I change to something like Spanish. But you see that the text changed, but the captions remained as English because I didn't set a new chapter for the different versions of the languages. So that was my fault. but you can see that it all synchronizes. So we have the transcript in Espanol. We can also change the caption to Espanol. And once you start playing, let me disable the audio first. Play. And you see that the captions is written in that language. You'd also notice something interesting. Let me pause the video. That we also have the speaker in brackets so that a user knows exactly who is speaking. So that is some nice features that you can add, that the transcript becomes easier to understand. It is broken up into sections. It has the speaker in brackets. It not only works with videos, you can also use it for audio players. So let's go to another example, which is from the Accessibility Craft website. And they have it as an audio player for their podcast. It also has the transcript underneath. I believe they did this transcript manually, but you can add the transcript automatically if you want. Then here is the video that I copied the initial example from, which is the 2023.wpaccessibility.day website. For their own, they didn't add the chapters. So that's why when I was trying to copy it into my own example, I could only add chapters for the English version, because that was what was shown in their YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to their YouTube channel in the description, so you can go ahead and check it out. Then you can see the audio player. It has the same thing, so we can reduce or increase the speed. You can play, you can restart, and so on. So now let's take a look at how it works in a WordPress website. Please let me know in the comments, do you think you would use this media player? What are the things that you think that can be improved in the media player? And just let me know generally, what is your favorite media player? So let's jump into the WordPress backend and we'll go from there. So here we are in the plugins area of my WP dashboard. In the top right, you can simply use the search plugins form to search for Able Player, and that will return a result: Able Player Accessible HTML5 Media Player by Terrell Thompson. He was the original author, but it has now been taken over by Joe Dolson. If you don't want to use the plugin, maybe you prefer to write the code snippet yourself, then I'll leave a link to the GitHub repository. You simply follow their setup and it will work for you. The first thing you'd need to do is download the entire package of the Able Player GitHub repo. Then you put it into your uploads folder. Then next, you now start referencing the script, jQuery, JS, cookie.min. Then from the folder where you saved your entire Able Player package, you'd also have to reference the ableplayer.min.css and ableplayer.min.js. Once you have those properly linked, then you can add the HTML manually. So that is one option. The other option is to use the Able Player plugin, and currently it relies on shortcodes, but hopefully in the future some things might change. So now let's go over to the Able Player and see how we can use the shortcode. So you head over to Able Player, which is under Settings, then Able Player. The first tab is called Settings, and then it gives you some settings that you may want to add, like no cookie for all of your YouTube videos. You may want to make Able Player your default video player. I think it mostly works with the block editor, and you can do so many other options. The part we are focusing on is the shortcodes. So I'll go under the shortcodes tab, and first you see under the shortcode, it starts with the key identifier called Able Player. Then it has some options that you can use to add some extra parameters. So the first parameter is to add the video source type. I've set it to YouTube, but you can set it to other options like local or Vimeo. Then the YouTube source, which is the URL for your YouTube video. I'll be using the example from the WP Accessibility Day YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to the video in the description. And what you need to do is go over to share, click on that button, and then copy the share link. Next, I'll go back to the able player on my website and paste the YouTube source. You don't need the query parameter for the URL, so you can delete every part that starts with the question mark and just leave the YouTube / the 11 characters. If you have the audio described version, then you can choose to put the URL there as well. Basically, we recommend that when you're doing a tutorial video, you describe everything that you are showing on screen. So rather than saying click here, see there, and so on, try to describe it in a meaningful way. So you can say click on the file icon at the top left of your screen, or click on the media button, and so on. So the person knows exactly what they're trying to click, because not everybody is watching the video visibly. They're trying to follow along with your tutorial. They may have the video minimized on the side of the screen while they follow along in their own setup. So try to describe everything the way you are clicking on it. So describe the position, describe any silent actions that are happening on screen, and so on. Next, I'll go ahead and select a poster, but you don't need to do that for YouTube videos. I'm simply doing that for maximum compatibility. So I'll click on Select Poster. I've organized my files into folders using Real Media Library. I'll tell you why I did it later on. But now I can go under the poster folder and choose my poster, choose media. Then the next thing I will add are media tracks. So let me expand the details of the media track. And we have 4 things we can add. We can add caption, subtitle, we can add audio description, and caption. So let me go ahead and add caption. I'll go over to my caption folder, then select my caption, which is in English. Choose media. It has set it to English in Great Britain, but I think it is not the Great British English. I'll just put it back to EN. And you can choose to change the label. The next is subtitle. For that one, I'll go under my subtitles folder and let me choose the Italian. So that's IT. Choose that media and set it to IT for Italian. Then I think at the moment there is a small limitation. It only allows you to add 1 subtitle. I think they will fix it in the next update. Then the audio description, I don't have any audio description, so I'll skip that. The chapters, I can add a chapter. Go over to my chapters folder, and then I'll select my chapter. You'll notice that all of these media tracks are stored as .vtt, which is the web VTT format. That is the most versatile format for media tracks. It allows you to add more information than your standard SRT or other media files. I'll show you how all of these files look soon. So now that I have all of these set up, I can now go ahead and choose to generate my shortcode. Then it generates the shortcode for me. Then I can go ahead and copy the shortcode. It tells me shortcode copied. Now I can go over to a page. Then I'll just add page and I'll give it a name such as test 24. And I'll go ahead and paste in my shortcode, publish it. Then we can go ahead and view the page. And you see it was populated successfully. So we have the video. Let me go ahead and reduce the audio. So we have our video, the impact of bad area on web accessibility. It has the play button. We have a space for the captions. Then we have the control. Then underneath it, we have our transcript, which has the chapters, it has the voice mark, and the actual captions, all formatted in a nice way. We can choose to change the language from English to Italian. The country code that we put is what was used to determine what was the language. We can also choose to change the captions from English to Italian or to caption off, which basically removes the caption bar. So that's it for the basic version. If you want to now go a step further to add things like multiple subtitles and so on, then you would need to go back to the GitHub repository and use the format that they have imputed. I'll show you an example using Buildarius. But basically, all you have to do is use the format. They give you every of the feature attributes that you need to add. The two key attributes are the ID on a video element and the data able player attribute. So those are the two attributes that you need on your video elements. Then you can start adding other extra options, which are all attributes. And I'll show you an example. So here we are in the example I created using the Buildarius page builder. And the main thing we need here is a video element. So I added a video element. And that video element contains some attributes. So under attributes, I've added a bunch of attributes from the GitHub repository. The first one was the ID. Then I added the data able player. Those are the two key data attributes that we need. Then we can add the other ones like the data YouTube ID. And that just needs the 11 characters of your YouTube video. Then I added the poster. Then I also added a transcript div because I wanted my transcript to be an external div. That div can be placed anywhere on the page and it will auto-generate the transcript. You also add other things like where exactly do we now get the source. So within the video element, I've now added some tracks. So if I open the primary, you can see track. You just give it track. What kind of track is it? The default is captions, but we also have subtitles. We have the descriptions. Then we have the chapters. So I've given it kind of captions. And then now this is why I use the Real Media Library plugin. It helps me to arrange the files into logical folders. As you can see, it is within the uploads folder in the videos folder under captions. So the same way I organized it on the front end is being organized on the back end. And we can check it out using WP Codebox IDE. I've gone under my uploads folder. I created a folder called video, and that is showing up here. Within that video folder, I've created multiple folders for all of my captions. You can see all of the files that are stored within the captions. You can see the files that are stored within the chapters, within poster, and within subtitles. So all of those files, you can easily access them. So let me go ahead and open the files to show you how they look like. So for the captions, if I choose to edit it, first it starts with a single line called web VTT. For all of them, they have to have that first line that calls web VTT. Then you add a space. Then you start by giving it what is the timestamp, followed by the actual caption. So what was the speaker saying? Usually they're in two lines or a single line. That is for the captions. You can see the same thing for the chapters. For that, you just need to add the title of chapter above the timestamp. So that now makes the video player to understand that this is a chapter, it's not a caption. And then you add the information that you need. For the subtitle, it's similar to your captions. It's the same format. The only difference is when you're not adding it, you now have to specify the kind is as a subtitle, and then you put the language of the subtitle. That's the only difference. But yeah, that's how we have all of the files. That's one reason why I was using the Real Media Library, just so that it can be organized both on the front end and on the back end. But yeah, moving on, we go back. So all we have to add is the track, the kind of track is a caption, and then the source. Next one, track, the kind is the chapters, and then the source, and so on. So just added all of those into the video element. Then externally, I now added another div, which now houses all of my transcript. If I don't want to use an external transcript, you can get rid of one of the data attributes on the video. And that attribute was called data transcript div. If I get rid of that attribute, then I also go ahead and uncheck the option for insert interactive transcript container. Now, when I go over and preview it on the front end, you'll notice that we no longer have the transcript fixed to the bottom. I can now go ahead and show transcript. It now has the transcript as a pop-up. So basically, I can now move the transcript around any way I want. Previously, it was fixed to the bottom, but now it becomes a movable pop-up. I can go ahead and disable it or show or hide anyhow I want. But if I go back and I toggle back the insert interactive transcript container and I save the settings, I believe if I go back and refresh it, it now takes over with the container that I set up initially. So that's just the difference. And yeah, we can do so much more with the video player. It not only works with videos and audio, it also allows you to add a playlist, which is more accessible than most of the playlists that are out there on the market. The styling options are limited for now. You would have to use custom CSS to style them, but hopefully as Jodolson takes over and is updating it, things will get better and better. So thanks for watching. Please keep doing your own bit to make the web more accessible for everyone. I'll see you in the next video.